I'd like to talk about the lack of a contract from a different angle. So having taught 25 years, we listened to an impassioned student over here speaking about Mr. Mitchell. See a lot of kids here. I'd like to remind the board and everyone that this building was built for one reason. It wasn't built to give people in the community a position of community involvement. It wasn't built to give us a job. It was built for the kids. That's why I have this building. Having taught 25 years, and listen to students here, I consider myself a pretty good teacher. I know you have to ask my students. But the most important thing I've learned is morale in the classroom. A kid wants to feel wanted. They want to feel appreciated. They want to feel encouraged. They want to feel that that's a good place to go. They like being in that classroom. After 25 years, I've learned that teachers aren't very much different than kids. In fact, one of the reasons they probably go to teach is they want to continue going to school. They like that atmosphere. In a classroom, if the teacher starts to feel that they're not appreciated, they're not wanted, or what they do doesn't go noticed, then they'll lose their positive morale. I'd like to warn the board that once you lose that, you won't easily get it back. Sure, we'll eventually get a contract, we'll get our benefits, we'll get maybe a little money or whatever, but you won't get that morale back. It'll become a job to most teachers. They've been shown that it's about dollars and cents. It's not about how much you care, it's not about what you bring to the classroom, it's not how long you stay, it's about dollars and cents. It's a job. That's it. And in the long run, who suffers? The kids. So for the kids, I would urge that the board show some leadership, show they know that this building was built for the kids, show the community that you're educational leaders, not just directors of a multi-million-dollar enterprise, and get the contract settled.
My name's James McManus. I'm a junior at Mendham. I know a lot of these teachers just from seeing them in the halls and having them in class. And I know every single one of them's had an impact on my life. Positive impact. I want to point that out. Just clarifying. I'd like to talk a little bit about Mr. Mitchell. When I was a sophomore, he was entering his second year teaching at Mendham, and I only knew really of him by reputation. He'd taken like the withering robotics club into an internationally competitive, closely knit team. Many of my friends were on the team and spoke very highly of him, so I decided to eat lunch in the tech room and meet the famous Mr. Mitchell. I was immediately taken aback at how much the students respected him. The sole fact that Mr. Mitchell opened his room's doors to students at lunch surprised me. I later learned that he often arrived an hour or two before school and welcomed students to use all of the tech room resources to their academic advantage. I have always been an honor student, and sometimes the sheer amount of work I receive is so overwhelming. It's not your fault, I promise. It's so overwhelming with my busy schedule. To have a place that's open before school, at lunch, after school, sometimes until late as 7 o'clock at night, was and still is invaluable. At the end of my sophomore year, with my junior year looming before me, Mr. Mitchell approached me with a proposition: take a brand new international baccalaureate program entitled IB Design Technology. As I'm looking to go into the field of engineering or teaching, the course description seemed right up my alley, so I agreed. The material, however, was not the only reason I chose the course. I was excited to have someone who was respected by faculty and students alike as a teacher and a mentor. In his IB Tech class this year, he provided a structured learning environment which is extremely important with such tough material. And I know a lot of these teachers teach IB classes, so they know how hard it is. Although I never had the pleasure of having Mr. Mitchell as a technology applications or computer-aided design instructor, I've personally watched him teach both types of classes, and I am in awe of his ability to command respect from all types of kids. As a technology teacher, to meet the requirement put by the board that or the state, I don't know, I'm not sure, with the year of practical arts, He sees everybody from, you know, the jocks and the skater dudes to the total eggheads and nerds. That's me. When I heard that Mr. Mitchell was let go, I was so shocked and angry. I started a Facebook page devoted to keeping him in Mendham High School. Within 24 hours, the page had over 100 likes, and I just checked about 10 minutes ago, we're up to 206, it was still growing. Most of these people, I didn't even know they knew who Mr. Mitchell was. Students from all walks of life were angry and upset over him losing his job. I just want to say, as a student who has seen Mr. Mitchell teach all types of classes, I understand how valuable he is to the community at the school. Beforehand, I was a nerd, and my freshman year, just like Mr. Godding had said earlier, I didn't really know, I never had a place. I just kind of wandered about and went home at the end of the day, and then, you know, got up at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning to go back to school again. But when Mr. Mitchell came into my life and started being my teacher, and even when I didn't have him in class, he started being my teacher. After that, I started to feel like I really wanted to come to school in the morning. And past that, I wanted to stay after school. I know it's shocking that you want to stay in a building more than 8 hours in a day. But I still stay until 5 or 6 at night. It's great having a quiet place where you can do homework. And I mean, I love the other tech teachers. Mr. Wetzel and Ms. Tarsi are fantastic. But unfortunately, they don't have, well, Ms. Tarsi has a family and she lives in Pennsylvania, and they can't quite offer the same amount of time as Mr. Mitchell can. He's there 5 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night most nights. He's taken the robotics club, turned it into an internationally competitive team. I don't know if we have another team at the high school, either high school, that's internationally competitive. They win all sorts of awards. He's a fantastic teacher. I've learned so much from him. I can't even put it into words. I've just learned so much from him as a future teacher and as a possible future engineer. I mean, the man is invaluable to me. It's so entertaining to watch him teach, and I just really think it's a shame that you're going to let him go. And to not know why is kind of sad. So thank you very much.
I applaud your ingenuity and your public speaking ability.
Thank you.
I'm impressed at your age. We can't say anything. It's a personnel matter, and we can't say anything more. But I would, again, like to reiterate our support for the robotics program and the technology program.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, I'd just like to say that kid's very articulate. My name's Chris McManus. I'm his father. I really am. But what I really want to say is, you know, I have watched the effect that Mr. Mitchell's had on these kids. I've watched it from day one when he walked in there and he came home all excited about what was going on in that class. I know it's a safe haven for the kids. I know that we treat every child like they're an individual. I'm a retired teacher. Every child is individual. They have their strengths, they have their weaknesses. And what we do is we take those weaknesses and we work with them and we make them better. And that's our success as teachers. We take the children that may not be motivated. We take the children that may not have as much intellect. We take the children who are more challenged and we make them into the best they can be. I just hope that you guys did that for Mr. Mitchell. And if he was having any difficulties, that you offered him the opportunity to improve, because if you knew the effects that he had on these kids outside of school, including at Scouts, etc. I have seen him out in the woods digging holes with the Boy Scouts, volunteering his time with troops from your schools. I've seen him at award ceremonies. I've seen him at people's homes. I've seen him everywhere. And I don't know whether you guys really understand all that and the effect that they have on him, on these children in total. So that's my comment. Thank you.
reading in the paper, and I feel that I have a right to know as a parent two children in this high school, plus I love this town, what is taking so long and why we can't get this done?
There's a lot that I can't say, but let me just say that in the 2 years since we started negotiations, there's been a sea change within the state as far as public education goes. And that's really taken a toll on all of us.
So what is the next step? Where are you? What is the next step? What is the timeline that we can expect?
You know, you know, our committees would need to get together and discuss where we are. I think that, I would hope that we would be able to do that in the next week or so, and then we'll go from there.
So how does it work? There's a committee from the board that meets with the state,
No, with the committee from the Teachers Association.
and you're having trouble getting together, finding a time?
No. No, we've continued to have informal discussions along the way, and there, I think we have a date scheduled, I believe, for fact-finding, but we hope not to, we hope to meet before that.
All right, thank you.
Okay.